Okay, guys. Hi, I'm Kino from STEMwithKino.com, and I would like to welcome you to Aviation Selection Test Battery Weekly. Give me a second here to get myself acclimated. And okay, let's see here. And okay, let's. Okay, so all right, I am live there, and I am live here. Give me. I have some. I have a couple of success stories this week. Um, okay. So yeah, couple things I just want to discuss. All right, so let's start off with our success stories. Now, while Marcus he did not train with me. He's been watching the videos and he's also been kind of providing content on the Facebook page. He has passed his SIFT. Um, he got a 48, so he qualifies to be a student aviator for the United States Army. So, he's been following me for a while. And, he's been kind of, keying in, coming into the live streams, watching the videos and stuff. And guys, I'm telling you, this is what it's all about. It's all about now. This is the Aviation Selection Test Battery. And I will announce it this as well tomorrow. But, I prepare people for all the exams, Every military aptitude test I help prepare for ASVAB, AFOQT, SIFT, ASTBE, AFOQT. So, Marcus, congratulations to you. I don't know. I hope you're in the chat. I'm not sure if you're in the chat, but I hope you are. And if you are, just give me a signal, give me a shout out. Anybody else that is in the room, please let me know what test you're preparing for and where you're from. Um, so yeah, that I'm very excited about that. Um, it's always good when you take the test and you pass it. And if you do really really well on these exams, it's gonna change your life. So, you know, um, that's good. All right, good for you, Marcus. Okay, so all right, for the aviation selection test battery, I'd like to give a shout out to Michael. Michael, he scored a 58, which is a competitive score. And we're looking for on our QFAR, FOFAR, on our three-digit scores on the aviation selection test battery. You want to get a 6, and he has exceeded 6 as well. So our target for SIFT and for the Army SIFT and the United States Navy OAR or aviation selection test battery, the OAR score, if I can pronounce my words, the OAR score that we look for you to break is 50. And Michael has met and exceeded that. He got a 58. So shout out to you, Michael. If you're in the chat room, please give me a shout out. And on the triple digit scores, he has exceeded 6. He actually got a 7, 8, and a 7. Now, while Marcus did not, he's watched videos. Michael actually trained with me, and I'm very, very proud of your score, Mike. So definitely a big shout out goes to you, um, another future student naval aviator. That's what we do here. So and SWOs and Intel and all the other guys too. Primarily, yeah, I'm a pilot, so yeah, my focus is going to be towards the pilots for the most part. But I like to see everybody be successful. And dude, you just got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. You got to study real hard, and you got to employ a lot of the test taking strategies that I teach. You know what I'm saying? And if you do that, and repetition is the key. There's no magic pill you can take. If you guys, if my audio is coming through clear, I should have done this earlier. But if my audio is coming in clear, somebody please type one in Facebook and on YouTube, please. just to make sure that I see people on YouTube. Please hit one if my audio is coming through clear. And Facebook as well. If you're on Facebook, you know, hit one. It's good to see you on the Facebook side of things, McLeod. Uh, just hit me with a one if my audio is coming through clear. Quanisha, thank you very much. I think I'm going to see you soon, actually. So good. All right. So I know it's good. So shout out. Okay, Lokalani, I see you too. What's up, girl? All right. All right. Okay, so yeah, I'm excited. I like to hear good news like that. And really, that is the goal of STEMwithKino.com, to get you guys in here. And, primarily, I do have a soft side towards all my aviation applicants. But, it's just, man, I feel good when I get scores back like that. Okay, so let's see. The first thing I want to do, and I was actually consulting with someone, and I'd like to give a shout out to Ariel for your assistance in that consultation, because sometimes when this is an issue that I want to talk about. When you go and whatever officer program or enlisted program that you're going into, it is very, very important that you are crystal clear about what's going on. And I know, a lot of you, well, as a civilian, you have no idea what, how the military works and things of that nature. But, Ariel, she definitely dropped some gems on us and stuff. You have to be your own advocate, and this is not making light of, the person that I'm speaking about, or who I was consulting to, but you have to be your own advocate. And, it was a situation where this particular applicant was kind of seeking information and questions and things of that nature. And then, as a result, they really weren't getting much information. So everybody has a supervisor. And so you should do your due diligence and just ask for that supervisor and ask questions and things of that nature. So we definitely got that sorted out. And, so, that's good. So, and you guys can ask questions about, these types of things too. If you have questions about, hey, I don't know if I can do this or I can do that and everything. And there was a lot of information. And like I said, I've been prepping people. And my thing is primarily the test side. I know I learn things as I go along through this journey. But, my primary thing is just basically the test prep side of things. So it's always nice when we have experts that we can go to and we can talk to and we can ask questions. Okay, so today's historical fact. Okay, this is the Aviation Selection Test Battery Test Prep. And I would like to talk about a historical thing. Let's talk about the birth of naval aviation. U.S. naval aviation was born 8th. Actually, that's my mom's birthday, May the 8th. Wow. So I should never ever forget that again in life. Let's see here. All right. I just got a message in. All right. It's no big deal. Yeah, so May 8th. I should never forget that. May 8th, 1911. And this was with a purchase request by a Captain Washington. Okay, so, yeah. U.S. Naval this was the birth of U.S. Naval Aviation, May the 8th, 1911. That is our historical fact. Okay, okay, now an aeronautical term. While I wait for questions for you guys to send to me, All right, guys. All right. Okay. So again, you can ask questions via the chat. If you are already consulting with me already for test prep in that sense, you can ask questions via the Skype chat. If you need tutoring, you can reach me on Skype at kieno.thomas. If you need tutoring, so yeah, I'm kind of like floating a little bit. I love it when you guys come back and bring good scores. I love that. I'm really like excited for you. And a lot of times when you guys go take the test, I'm on pins and needles because I'll be like sitting there and I'll be like, okay. I get one of my guys and I'll be like, okay, hey Keno, yeah, man, I'm taking the test on Monday. And that Sunday night I'll talk to him and everything, give him that last little pep talk and everything. Hey, don't take too much time on one particular question. Stick and move, stick and move. You want to see as many questions as you can. Um, I instruct my guys, eat. You do not want to be hungry when you're testing. Your brain is going to be like going like, "Argh." You know what I'm saying? So make sure you get that protein in the morning before you go to MEPS or the testing center or wherever you're taking the test at, because some people actually, if I've heard people taking it at MEPS, I've heard people actually taking them at Proctor testing centers. And so you definitely don't want to be hungry. Tell them to bring lots of scrap paper and let the proctor examine this scrap paper. Some sites they provide the scrap paper, but I would advise you to, bring your own just in case they don't have enough, and let them examine it and stuff like that. One thing that I learned today that I did not know is that this is like a one-on-one thing. The proctor and the applicant for the aviation selection test battery. Okay, you're supposed to be in a room with no distractions. So, that's something that I learned today. Now, this might be something that changes from command to command. I don't really know, but I would assume for tests of this importance, um, you would probably need to be one-on-one, like proctor or applicant and stuff like that. So you should be in a quiet room and stuff. And anybody that has any additional information about testing, please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, you know, um, I'm learning every day, just like you guys are. So, you know, don't be afraid. Hey, hey, I'm all for it. So, I guess I should put this naval aviation. Let's see if I can't break this down. Yes, you can. All right, because I want to put this on the post on Facebook. Okay, and I'm actually, it's just reminding me to do some things that I need to do with the Army. So I'm posting this, and I see Marcus again. I see your post, Marcus. If you're in the room, um, hit 3. And Michael, if you're in the room, Mr. 50, what was that, 58, I think you got on it? Yeah, 58. Mr. 50, you almost hit 60. Okay, so that is a very impressive score, guys. So, I want you guys to keep up the good work. Keep studying, keep studying. My thing is, if you have to sacrifice a couple months of delayed gratification, and now, most of us are sheltered in place. So, it's like my guys that get deployed. They do their job and then they'll have their downtime. And I'm like, dude, you're in an awesome position where you can study with no distractions. So, yeah, let me post this up. And I want you guys to all keep up the good work. Keep coming back and asking good questions. Um, where are we at? Okay, there we go. and I want to post there. And yeah, I'm kind of like, boom, I'm zooming off of these guys' results. Um, is just amazing. It's just amazing. And, in a way, I do feel I have played a part in it, you know, and I like that because, it's a long time, it's building relationships and networking and connections and things like that. And the birth of naval aviation's date is posted. My mom's birthday, May the 8th, 1911. All right. For you, my YouTube people, please like and subscribe. For my Facebook people, please like and follow. All right. All right. So I'm checking the posts. And I want to talk about, we're going to always do a historical. We're going to do an aviation. We may do a nautical term, depending on how many questions that I have coming inbound. Let's see here. All right. So I have been talking to a couple of my aviation applicants, and we're still coming up with this ground effect, cushion of air. And I don't like that term because I teach aerodynamics. And hold on, let me see how I look on the to make sure everybody has a board view, and we do. Okay, so ground effect. It is the Earth's interference with the airflow patterns around the wings. For all my student aviation people, ground effect is the Earth's interference with the airflow patterns around the wings. All right. So let's explore normal airflow patterns. Okay, our relative wind is coming in this direction, and it is relative wind. We call it relative wind. It's kind of like when you're riding on a bus. Okay. It's a relative wind. It's really not wind. The air molecules are actually still, and you're the person that's moving. So like when you go on a field trip on a bus and you stick your hand out, or you have like one of those little windmill, I forget what you call it, one of those windmill toys, with the stick and it's got the windmill on it and you kind of stick it in the stream of air. It is a relative wind. It is wind, you feel it as wind, but you are actually moving through the air molecules. Wind is actually air that's blowing due to high and low pressure differences. But we have our relative wind, I'll just say RW. And during flight, when we have our laminar airflow, that's our airfoil, another definition. An airfoil is any device that's used to produce lift. So this is the wing from a side view. But the air molecules that are kind of slightly below the wing have a normal upwash, downwash effect. All right, a normal upwash and downwash effect. And the laminar airflow tends to, I don't know if you've ever seen those wind tunnel tests, and you'll see the lines of smoke. And let's get a, airfoil and a wind tunnel test. Let's see.
According to EHERA, a wind tunnel testing machine consists.
Okay. That's, all right, this is really nice. Okay. This is a really nice diagram. I'm going to not paste. Well, yeah, I am copy and pasting. This is from Quora. And I hope I am, okay, yeah, that's cool. Quora, I'm giving you guys credit. Don't want anybody coming back. Hey, you didn't give us credit. Yeah, I'll give you credit. I try to remember. I don't always remember, but I try my best to remember. And you guys can attest to that. Let me come on back here to the post page. What I'm basically posting an airfoil that's going through a wind tunnel test. All right, and it is being posted right now. Now, you can't really see it as pronounced as I, because this is a little bit exaggerated. but there's a normal upwash and downwash as the airfoil or wing travels through the air. When we get within one wingspan, something happens, i.e., the Earth's interference with the airflow patterns. Now, you have like a whole bunch of air molecules down here normally, right? But when we get over the ground, like in takeoff and landing operations, let's draw our same airfoil. All right. So we have reduced air because the Earth is there. Okay. The Earth's interference with the airflow patterns around the wing. And so we get a reduced upwash downwash effect. It's not strong like up here. Let's say this aircraft is at 2,000 feet. Okay. And this clearly is not at 2,000 feet because it's like within one wingspan of the Earth's surface, runway, water, blah, 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 right? So the Earth is interfering with the normal upwash and downwash. And what we get is reduced, the induced drag is reduced. So induced drag, which is a product of lift, just the fact that we're generating lift, we're going to get induced drag. And that's only one part of drag. The other part is your parasite drag, interference, which is interference profile, skin friction drag, okay? And you guys can consult your pilot handbooks of aeronautical knowledge. It's in the United States Army Field Manual for all my SIF people and things of that nature. Okay, hold on. We have some, okay. Joule's static kinetic energy skill. I was directed by a chief, warrant officer at the time of SIF testing that you have one officer on one side of your face and another on your other side. Your face for the duration of the SIF. Yeah, so it's not like 4 or 5 guys in there. So now there have been some, with the CV, I'll say CV. Everybody knows what I mean when I talk about the CV, because I think the algorithms mess with your videos and things of that nature if you say the word. So I'll just say CV. But with the CV situation, I think they're trying to get as many guys tested as possible, and then there may be a situation where I don't know, they might try, hey man, just come on, we have 2 people in here proctoring that can actually observe the applicants, but as far as I know, you're not supposed to be in there with anybody else but a proctor. But like the guy mentioned for the SIFT, you have 2 people actually watching you. So McLeod, thank you for that piece of information. Marcus has actually dropped a little excerpt about his experience taking the SIFT. Now, I want you to understand, just because, that was the SIFT, no. The information that he provided has come up on debriefs on the OAR and the full aviation selection test battery. So I'm like, boom, that's why I train the same way for both exams. The math training and the mechanical comprehension training is exactly the same. It's one size fits all. So you could take the ASTB, you could take the OAR, you could take the SIFT, and you're equally prepared for all 3 exams. I believe, in my opinion, that the SIFT and the aviation selection test battery / OAR are the hardest. I don't think the AFOQT is that strong. I mean, you do have your arithmetic reasoning and your math knowledge, but just the fact that you drop physics principles in on a test, i.e. the SIFT and your ASTB OAR, to me, they're stronger. They're stronger exams, which you won't have to deal with that on the AFOQT. And shout out because next week, next Thursday, we were supposed to start this Thursday, but had some scheduling issues. But next Thursday, 5 p.m., the Air Force, which is the Air Force Officer Qualification Test. There will be a live stream for that as well. So I know you guys are like, yo, you do the OAR and the ASTB and the SIFT, and you don't do the AFOQT live stream. There will be, and everybody can bring math questions. Math only. There's no mechanical comprehension on the AFOQT. So math only. Like I said, all the math training for everything I teach, same thing, same animal. Because at first I used to make adjustments like, okay, well, AFOQT. Your AFOQT? Yeah. Okay, well, I had a plan, blah, 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 blah. Then, so, okay, well, you're taking OR, blah, 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 blah. And it was just changing, changing, changing. So I did a one size fits all, and boom, and it just works beautifully. And my people are bringing in really, really nice, strong scores. So no matter what you do, we're still going to cover certain things. But Marcus's debrief, if you follow me on Facebook and you are preparing to take the OAR, there is a lot of good information. So make sure you hit the, I think it's like read more or something like that on his entry. Yeah, see more. Okay. So on April 10th, he went in to take the test. The computer went down. That's another thing that you probably should prepare for because this does happen. That's not the first time I've ever had an applicant tell me that. Man, I started taking a test, man. I was ready to take this test, and um, and the computer just froze. It happens. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, and you need to be prepared for that. And actually, you know what? In all honesty, it's kind of actually like almost like what I call a godsend because they'll be like, okay, we'll come back next week. Another thing, aviation selection test battery, you can talk to your recruiters about this, but I've had applicants, I've had my people actually take the OAR 1 week and then come back and take the aviation and nautical information and TBAS the following week. So, I mean, there's, like I said, you might want to just kind of talk to your recruiter, ask them, hey, can I do this? Now, I don't know if every recruiter does this, but I've had people that said, I'm like, they're telling me, okay, I test on this date. And then like a week out, they're like, oh, well, my recruiter said I'm going to take the OAR 1 week, and then I'm going to come back and take the aviation nautical information and TBAS. So make sure you're being your own advocate, because me personally, if I could do the OAR portion and do the aviation portion to space it out to give me some breathing room. Now you won't get your score back immediately. I don't think. You know what? You might because the OAR score, the two-digit score, is just reading. Well, reading, math, and mechanical, and then ANIT TBAS. That's probably how they worked it out. So you may get an OAR score, but make sure you talk to your recruiters and be cognizant of what you are signing. Be crystal clear and don't be afraid to ask questions. It's your life. It's your life. It's like, oh yeah, all right, do whatever. Now I know my aviation applicants, they probably will, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to OCS and then I'm going to API. Oh yeah, whatever you want to do. Where do I sign? You might not be as reluctant, but for my other people, just and Ariel, please correct me if I'm going off target with what I'm saying. Please check me through. You can check me on the chat, or you can check me through Skype. Because I want everybody to have crystal clear information. And if I am making a mistake or if I say something wrong, please correct me. And that goes for anybody. Because this is the channel where we want to be crystal clear. And thank you, McLeod. Pinwheel. I was like the little windmill on the thing. Yeah, pinwheel. Thank you, man. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so there were a couple of questions. And Collins, could you hit me with that question number, please? Because I've had a whole conversation and I knew that there was something that I said we were going to touch on. And was that Collins? Or no, that was Aldridge. All right. My bad. Yeah. I cannot find the chat to save my life here. This is kind of crazy. All right. No, I found it. All right. While I am okay, well, post it, or if you're connected to me on Skype, send it to me through Skype. Um, and Skype is KIENO dot THOMAS. Um, don't be shy. Um, yeah, Aldrich. I think you're here in the chat. I'm not sure. I haven't seen you check in. But yeah, whenever you do come in, let me know that test question number that I wanted to do. Um, what I will do is the law of conservation of energy. This is a mechanical comprehension concept. Now, for our purposes, primarily when we're talking about energy, we're going to be talking about mostly all the debriefs that I ever got back. We were always referring to potential and kinetic energy. You need to understand that potential and kinetic energy kind of ebb and flow, they go hand in hand. So let's say I have 10 joules of energy. All right, 10 joules of energy. And I'm like 100 meters. And we talk about potential energy, but it is also referred to as gravitational potential energy. So if I have an object that is, say, 10 meters high, all right, let's put our object there. This is a 5 kilogram object. All right, it's 10 meters high. And let's say we're working with, I know I said a number of joules and I can't remember, but let's just say we had 20 joules of potential energy. Okay. Right now, the object is not moving, it is not falling towards the floor, ground, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Right now, we have 20 joules of potential energy and 0 kinetic. All right. Potential energy is associated with height. All right. And kinetic energy is energy in motion. So we have 20 joules of potential energy and we have 0 joules of kinetic energy. And let me just kind of go through the relationship. So let's say we get somebody over here to push this ball over and it starts to fall and it gets to what we call the 5 meter mark, halfway. I want you to really truly understand the kinetic and potential energy relationship. So at this point, it starts to move and the kinetic energy starts to build. But at the halfway point, we would have 10 joules of potential energy and we'd have 10 joules of kinetic energy. And then right before, like a millionth of a second before it strikes the ground, it's pretty much at 20 joules kinetic energy. And kinetic 20, potential is almost at 0. All right. So you can see how we have 20 joules of kinetic right before it touches down. And up here, we got 0 joules. So you can see how we get to the halfway mark and they kind of split. They split it in half. Okay. All right. We got a question up. Very good. All right. I'm going to address that in a moment. And I forgot I didn't see the name, but it's all good. All right. We're going to check the mail. Checking the mail. Checking the mail. All right. Okay. 3, 4, 2, 1. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Okay, there's another big thing that people that have been sliding past people. This is pertaining to mechanical comprehension. And it is kind of like a two-part question, so number 3 and 5. I'll answer all the questions, but 3 and 5 is what I noticed like people were really having trouble understanding and getting a clear picture. All right. When we talk about acceleration, in my mind, in my head, I think of it as a pylon of speed every second. Okay. And it's very, very important. There's actually two things I'm going to talk about for mechanical comprehension in the kinematics area. So, acceleration is what I was talking about. Yeah. So it's a pylon. Now, in order to calculate, sometimes they give you acceleration. Sometimes you will have to calculate the acceleration. All right. I'm posting this question on Facebook. So 3 and 5 are the questions that this talk is going to be about. And you really, really need to pay attention because you really, really need to understand acceleration. And I say that acceleration is a pylon of time. So let's talk about the acceleration of gravity. In the metric units, it is 9.8 meters per second squared, not just meters per second, because the test sometimes has a tendency of letting you calculate the right number, but you have to know the units. You have to know the units. And everybody that's checking in, please hit the like button and subscribe and share on your social media networks. And the metrics in the U.S. customary, or we call it British units, it is 32 feet per second squared. Now, when you see that meters per second squared or feet per second squared, that is telling you acceleration rate. It is not velocity. Velocity will be in meters per second, feet per second. All right. And it would have a direction as well, because that's the difference between speed and direction. But when we're talking about falling objects, we do have a direction because if we let something go, the direction is going downward. Okay, it's going downward. So that is the direction, and that's why we have a velocity. Now, first of all, you may be posed with, well, how fast is this thing moving? How fast will it be moving in 5, 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever? Well, the formula for velocity is velocity equals your acceleration rate times time. Now, sometimes what I've had some of my people kind of say, okay, well, they use the distance rate times time model. You cannot use the distance rate times time model because the distance rate and time model deals with uniform motion. It's kind of like your cruise control. You're driving down the highway. Okay, I set my cruise control to 65. The car stays at 65 continuously all the way down the highway. You might have some hills or something like that, and the engine revs up and maintains the speed. But 65 is a constant rate. Acceleration is not a constant rate. It's a pylon of speed. All right? So, crystal clear, because I noticed that some people are having issues kind of differentiating between the two. When we come up with a velocity, it'll be in feet per second or meters per second, not meters per second squared or feet per second squared. So when we talk about acceleration, meters per second squared, feet per second squared. When we say, okay, what's the velocity of this object? It's going to come out in feet per second or meters per second. Because it is not uncommon for the test. Like, let's say, okay, the metric units. I dropped this dry erase marker out the window. How fast is it going to be moving in 10 seconds? All right. It is velocity equaling acceleration times time. We're going to use 9.8 meters per second squared. We'll use metric units. Times 10 seconds. If we multiply this number by 10, 9.8, times 10, it is a 10, 10. The decimal place will just move over one space. It will be 98 meters per second, not meters per second squared. But on the test, you'll have 9.8 meters, 9.8 feet per second, and 98 meters per second squared and 98 meters per second. Okay, so you calculate the numbers. You get 98, but here's your multiple choice answers: 98 meters, 98 feet per second, 98 meters per second squared, and 98 meters. The guys have come back on a debrief where this is what I call a sucker punch, because if you choose the wrong answer, just because you don't know units, you actually did all the math. You got the math right. Beautiful. But then you get here and you forgot your units, or you don't know how to use or select the proper units. Many people crashed and burned on a question like this. They did the math. The math was perfect. Okay, but our answer to this, what is the velocity of this dry erase marker when I let it go out the window and it drops for 10 seconds? It is 98 meters per second. All right. If we're using metric units, it's going to be 98 meters per second. It won't be meters per second squared because that is an acceleration. It won't be feet per second squared because that is British or US customary units. And it won't be meters because we weren't asking you how far. We asked you what was the velocity or how fast is it moving. Okay. So this is really big, guys. It's really big, and a lot of guys, before they train with me, of course. And there's like, man, I got this test. It was like the numbers, the answers were all the same. It was just the units were changing. And I just chuckle because I'm like, yeah, you probably got sucker punched because you didn't know the right units to use. All right. So, yeah, that is definitely, okay. Let me give a shout out to a couple of new names that I see. All right, Vipule, please let me know if I'm pronouncing your name, because my name is not like everybody's name. It's Kino, and I make an extra effort to pronounce people's names correctly. So Vipule, if I am, just let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Ray, I see you. Thanks for checking in. John, I see you. Thanks for checking in. Let me see. Drew. And guys, let me know where you guys are from. You guys are like so shy. I see people in the room and I only see like two people. Actually, that actually posted responses on YouTube. Check in. Let me know where you guys are from. What tests you guys are preparing for. It doesn't have to be the city. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Iowa. Oh my God, Iowa. Man, I'm telling you, we did a trip out to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'll never forget that state. It was 30 below. It was 30 below one winter. And when we got our crew car, because they have certain cars for pilots that are they're standing overnight. And I'm like, okay, you can use the crew car. And, the air crew car. And so you get the air crew car. And a guy gave me an extra set of keys. And I was like, what do I need two sets of keys for? He was like, listen, you cannot turn the vehicle off. What do you mean I can't turn the vehicle off? He was like, we'll actually get a ticket if you turn the vehicle off. And apparently, since it was 30 below, you couldn't shut your vehicle off because 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't have been able to start it back up. It was so cold. So, yeah, shout out to all my people out there, John in Iowa, man. Yeah, that was like, oh my God, I never been that cold in my life, man. I've never been that cold in my life. It was like, oh my God, that was winter for real, for real. Most of my life, I've been like on the coasts. I was born in the West Coast, on the West Coast, but bouncing around, as a kid and stuff like that. But mostly the Northeast has been, and I'd see snow, but I've never seen temperatures like that. Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I think I was in Virginia, and it was like, yeah, it was kind of cold like that. So I've seen that twice in my life. Virginia, and then Iowa, Cedar Rapids. Freaking cold. All right. Let me see. Um, Now, I'm gonna actually post a video, and this video is from YouTube, and this is from Felix. This is the I think the Red Bull Coors Light guy, Felix Baumgartner. He actually took a balloon up to the edge of space, and he jumped. And I love this video because this is the video that I use for terminal velocity. And for my aviator applicants, you should understand, and mechanical comprehension people, you should understand terminal velocity. Where am I going with this? Okay. All right, let me jump back. Yeah, I'm posting it on the YouTube, and I'm posting it on the, terminal velocity, guys. You should know what this is. And Felix gets to a point where he reaches terminal velocity. And if you don't know, terminal velocity is it's the speed at which the air resistance, the force of the air resistance is equal to the weight of the falling object. You still fall, you just don't accelerate anymore. You don't fall any faster anymore. So you'll see the point in the video where he kind of falls, he starts falling, and then all of a sudden his speed slows down, and it actually comes to a halt at about 730 miles per hour. And at that point, he doesn't accelerate anymore. He's still falling out of the sky, but he's not accelerating. Wow. All right. So I posted it. There you go. You guys, and I'm dropping it on the YouTube. Again, guys, please smash that like button. Please, please, please. It's free. Or dislike. Smash the dislike button. But do something. All right. Like or dislike. All right. So that is the video of Felix Baumgartner. All right. And my favorite video when I'm teaching people terminal velocity. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I can use that. All right. Okay. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. We're pretty much at the end. Shout out again to Marcus and Michael. Marcus passed the standard instrument for flight training. He is trying to become a helicopter pilot, and he is well on his way with that nice score that he got. He did not train with me. He, just been kind of watching videos, and he went and took the test. Michael, however, who has been training with me, he scored a 58 and a 767 on his triple-digit scores. So, like I tell you guys, most people are not prepared for this test. Prepare the right way the first time. Don't do this 2 and 3 times. And recruiters are going to hate me. Don't beat me up. Do not listen. Be your own advocate. I love that. I'm still in that phrase, Ariel. You got to be your own advocate. I'm still in that phrase because it is so true. Prepare the right way. Prepare the right way. Prepare the right way. It doesn't have to be me. If you ask me, I'm the best, but and it's true. It is only because I'm so passionate about it, and I want to see you guys get great scores. But prepare the right way. Don't go taking this test 2 and 3 times. And the recruiter, like I said, the recruiter's going to hate me because a lot of recruiters, and I've heard it so many times, just take it, see how you do. And I tell you guys every week, I've only met 3 people, 1, 2, 3, in over 10 years, where I sat with them, I talked with them, and I told them, you don't need me, go take the test. And these were all engineering students, so They'd already been kind of dealing with, the mechanical, electrical, basically the numbers. I mean, Calc 1 and 2. So very, very strong math skills. If you don't have very strong math skills, you need a teacher. You need a teacher. And another thing, guys, please, if you're prepared for the full aviation selection test battery and you do find a tutor, please ask them if they're a pilot. Please. Please make sure that they have some flight experience. Because I met some people, person charges double what I charge, and they weren't pilots. Like, what the hell? Really? Like I was talking to, oh my God. I'll tell you exactly what I was talking to. I was talking to Alvarez, and Alvarez probably checked in. Hit me with a 1 if you're here, Alvarez. I'm talking to Alvarez. It's just like, Alvarez has the military law enforcement background. I was like, this is like me going to my baker. Shout out to Italian People's Bakery. This is like me going to my baker. And, can you teach me how to set up a perimeter? A defensive perimeter? Or like in a tactical type sense? Going to a baker, the baker doesn't know. I mean, unless they were ex-army or something like that. But that's not their profession. The guy that's military and law enforcement, that's his profession. He probably knows how to tactically set up things. So that's the guy I'm going to go to. I'm not going to go to the baker. So while you may have all these tutors out here talking about we prepare for the AFOQT, the ASTB, the ASVAB or whatever. The ASVAB is slightly different. But if you are trying to become a pilot applicant, make sure that your tutor has some type of flight experience. Okay? And I mean, it's public information. It's like a part of your blue ribbon package for pilots. If you're a pilot, you already know about that blue ribbon packet. The Federal Aviation, they have it on file. So, just be careful, guys, because it's going to take, honestly, most people, it takes a considerable amount of time to properly prepare. And you just don't want to be putting your money in the wrong direction. You come to the conclusion, hey, I need tutoring. And then you find a tutor, but you got to make sure that they're a good fit for you. That's really, really important. And, like when you guys take the test, it's like I'm taking the test. When I'm like, okay, guy, you're good to go take the test, I'm sitting on pins and needles. And I'm always asking, hey, look, man, as soon as you get your text me. They never do. They got to call the girlfriend, the fiance, the family, and I get that now. But initially, in the initial stages, I'm sitting there like waiting, like on my phone. I didn't get a text yet. Then 4 or 5 hours later, it's like, hey, Keno, here's my scores. I'm like, I'll be like, man, you have me sitting on. And they come back with a good score, but still, I'm always kind of like on standby, waiting, like, kind of like that father and waiting outside the delivery room. Oh, it's a boy, it's a girl, it's twins. I'm just sitting there, I'm not necessarily pacing, but I'm very, very concerned, because I want you all to do well. If you guys are following my channel or if you tutor with me, I want you all to do well. I don't want anybody to do bad, Okay, 6 o'clock, guys. I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for taking time out to come out and check my channel. I'd like to thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and stuff like that. If you haven't hit the thumbs up in YouTube, please hit the thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter. But hit one of those thumbs. I will see all my prospective people during our let's check something real quick. During our one-on-one. Michael, I see you, Michael. Is that John Michael? Okay, I think that's John Michael. Okay, so yeah, man, I thank you guys for all checking in, man. The way that you're gonna get the most out of this, and I really don't think it's hitting home. Get your test prep book. Look through it. I don't believe that there's anything, each and everything in that book. And even if you kind of do know each and everything in the book, let me show you quick, rapid ways of solving these questions. Like I told you guys before, you don't have to do these questions all the way to completion based on the multiple choice answers. You don't always have to, and that's what I teach: time saving techniques, because you're under the clock, you're under the gun, and you're stressed out. So you need some really rapid math techniques to solve these problems so you can maximize your score. Okay? So I will see you guys for the aviation selection test battery weekly next month. And that also includes the OAR guys, because the OAR is part of the aviation selection test battery. So I mean both. Tomorrow will be the standard instrument for flight training live stream, 2 p.m. Eastern. And next Thursday, the AFOQT live stream will be launching. And so all my people that are AFOQT people, 5 p.m. Eastern. And for my West Coasties, because I'm East Coast, let me know if that's comfortable. We're still going to do it at 5, but guys, let me know if it's comfortable for my West Coasties that are AFOQT people. Because if you're definitely training with me, I definitely want to make an adjustment so you guys can have an opportunity to look at it. I mean, it's kind of like, what do they call that? I don't watch TV. What's that? When there's a show and it might play, but you can watch it later. There's a name for that. It doesn't matter. You guys can type it in the chat. I can't remember because I don't watch TV. Actually, right here in my office, I mean, I could hook it up to my smart TV. I literally do not watch TV. I watch movies, but TV, it's never really been my thing. And I can catch all the news I want online. So, all right, guys, I am done yapping. Make sure you guys come back and see me. And I'm telling you to get the most out of this. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Get your book. There's things in there you don't understand. Just, boom, hit me with the questions. You can email them. You can post them. You can type them out. You can do whatever. And then what you should know, I do, my clients, their priority comes first if they ask questions. So, sometimes I know you guys might not, if I run out of questions, then I'll probably get to the guys that don't tutor with me. And that's just, it's just a priority thing. It's nothing personal. Don't take it personal, because I know sometimes people post questions and I don't really get into them based on what I have, because I'm kind of changing the format where I mention something historical, an aviation term, and I just got a thing from Mike. So actually, my book's all the way over there. Kino.Thomas, Kieno.Thomas on Skype, guys. Okay, so I'm kind of overrunning on time a little bit, and I need to get to somebody that needs tutoring help. So, Facebook, see you later. YouTube, see you later. All right, YouTube always goes first. See you later, guys. Please hit that like and share on your social media networks, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Good night, YouTube. My Facebook people.